Hello everyone! Look at me! I actually am recording the next day. Um, this time I'm actually going to keep an eye on the clock, unlike last time. But today we'll be doing something a little bit different. If you noticed, I usually do female protagonists in a storyline with either male or female love interests, but today we'll be doing a male protagonist, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a male protagonist, with male or female cast. This game also has a little bit of voice acting. I am pretty sure it said it's not fully voiced, but if it is fully voiced, I'll let the voices play for a little bit and then I'll turn it off so that I can actually read. I think the music's a bit too low. I like to have the music playing just so it's not silence. And last video the sound was a bit loud, so I've turned it down for this game. But today we have When the Night Comes. I'm not exactly sure how long this will be. I tried to look, but I didn't really see anything saying how long one playthrough of the game is, so we'll just have to be going into this blind. And as I said, the protag is male, so if you're not into that, then it's probably not the video for you. Ooh. Name first thing in the morning. Let's go. The surname I usually do Green. It's not my actual surname, but it's just a surname that I use for games. Oh, cool. Well, I am going to do him, he, him, just because that's how I want to play the game. I wasn't sure if it let me choose pronouns or not. When the night comes. Okay. Ooh, cursive. Department of Enforced Office of the Lieutenant General. You have been selected for immediate transfer and are authorized to report to the enforcement headquarters in Lunaris, Escria. Please find your mission information and all other relevant documents enclosed. Once the information has been destroyed, we order that the documents are digested. We order that the documents are promptly destroyed. This information is highly classified, as are all details of your relocation. Upon arrival, please report to General Augustus Wilhelm. Respectfully, Lieutenant General Harold Adin Gutian. I think that was like the 5th. I arrive in Lunaris at dusk. I've been traveling for days. My feet are sore, my eyes are tired, and I can't think about how much I need a damn good sleep. I am Hunter, and I have been called here by the Lieutenant General of Escria to lead an investigation. The matter is apparently urgent if the rapid way in which I've been summoned is anything to go by. The things that you hear about in ghost stories and fables are all real, and it's my duty, my purpose, to protect humanity from those creatures that go bump in the night. There have been a series of particularly violent murders here in Lunaris. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Lunaris, lately, and the local enforcers, the agency that oversees us, can't seem to put their finger on who or what the culprit is. I was the most skilled hunter general in the previous town I was assigned to, but eagerly welcomed but I eagerly welcome the change of scenery, even if it does involve murder and a healthy dose of existential dread. Really quick, I want to mess with the sound, because the music's really quiet. I don't want the music to overpower me, but I want the music to at least be heard. Let's turn it down a bit and up the volume suffix. Okay. Now, as I sink into the town, the feeling that washes over me is making me wonder if I made the right choice. As if I even had one at all. Our lives are bound, and I live to serve. As hunters, we are the only ones equipped to deal with such monstrosities. Plucked from our families at a young age, we are told we hold an incredibly rare talent, not only in passing the secretive initiation that gifts us with the keen sense and empathetic skills, but also in processing the mental fortitude, intelligence, and obedience necessary to ensure our effectiveness and loyalty. I steel myself and wander aimlessly through the unseen narrow streets, unable to focus on much else other than the thought of a warm meal and a comfy bed. The only thing that distracts me from such thoughts is the way the sky begins to turn an inky infinite black. So if you saw that notification at the top left of the screen, it said index updated, and we'll check that out. Let's see, main menu. Yes, I just saved. Credits? Extras? I've never done that. Whatever. We'll check it out at the beginning. Codex entry unlocked. Weird. I don't know what that is, but we'll figure it out later. We'll just focus on the story for now. Wisps of mist spiral around my ankles, seeping out of every crack and crevice. Flickers of magic are present within the smoky tendrils, and I can't help but wonder if my mind is playing tricks on me. I turn a sharp corner to see people running, scooping up small children, scrambling to get inside. I hear the sound of doors slamming and locking, echoing off the crooked stonework. Curtains are drawn, windows are closed, and then darkness, the abnormal kind. Although the stars are shimmering brightly at a glance and the crescent moon hangs low, neither offer much light. It's unsettling, to say the least. A chill rolls down my spine, and I walk faster, my sore feet continuing their protest. The instincts that have been part of me since my initiation kicked in, and I have a feeling deep in the pit of my stomach that I need to get inside and fast. I spot a mage lantern as I head further down the street. The dull blue flame flickers invitingly in the darkness, drawing me in. Pretty! Oh, this is such cute art. I love this CG. Well, CG I guess it would be. Not really CG, but I love this background. It's cute. And I love the colors. I push the weathered wooden door open, and the light twinkle of the bell that hangs above my head announces my presence. That was hard for me to read. It's empty, only very dimly lit by a few worn-down candles. The shelves are stocked with curious trinkets and jars of strange-looking ingredients and potions, and an apparently endless collection of dusty old books lines the walls, plural. It smells faintly of incense and a little of... Is that ozone? Yes, like the way the air smells just before a storm. Like lightning. I hear footsteps and turn to find the owner, and I'm taken aback by the figure that appears from behind a pair of well-placed curtains.
I was just closing up, but can I help you?
I knew it. It's not loud enough. Nothing is loud enough. This is so different from the other thing. I'm gonna do that, and then, like, fine. Oh, is that Max? Okay. We'll do it like that. I was just closing up, but can I help you? What eyes burn into me, brighter than the clearest of emeralds. His aura feels distinctly magical, and I'm very aware that I'm looking at a witch, a powerful one at that. I'm sorry to intrude, but I appear to be a little lost. I'm looking for the tavern. His gaze falls to my weapons and my sash. His cheeks darken as realization apparently sets in. You see, that's not my fault. Am I just... Ah, I get it. My volume was really low. Let's try this again, because now my volume is at a decent level. I'm sorry I keep messing with things. I didn't know my headphones were that low. That's my bad, though. Okay, now no matter what happens, I will not mess with anything. We are focusing on the story. Are you the new hunter? I offer him a wiry smile. Is it that obvious? He returns my smile, and I can't help but feel welcome, at home even.
It's lovely to meet you. The town has been alive with gossip about you this week, you know. My name is Ezra, by the way.
How is there gossip? I just got here. That's stupid. I'm Chris. It's nice to meet you, Urza. Ezra. My bad, bro.
Did anyone tell you not to wander the streets when darkness falls? As capable as I'm sure you are, it's not advised. Especially these days.
Nobody told me shit. I just got here. I shake my head, still a little out of sorts from the long journey. Then, much to my embarrassment, my stomach decides to grumble loudly. Okay, I know I said I wouldn't mess with the settings, but after this part, I'm turning off the voices. I lied, I'm sorry. Aha! I knew it! Not everything is voiced. Okay, I will leave the voices on. I can keep my promise. How rude of me. You must be starving. Take a seat in the back room, and I'll quickly fix you something up. Fix you something up. Okay. I'll quickly fix you something. This vision novel is also in Spanish. I assume there's some translation issues, because I don't think that's proper grammar for English anyways. You really don't have to do that. I'd better be on my way.
No such thing. It's too dangerous out there. Please, I insist. It's no trouble, really.
I can hardly refuse when he's looking at me like that. I nod and follow him as he parts the curtains to reveal a cozy living space. There's a small kitchenette with a crooked dining table, and nestled in the corner is a tattered but comfy-looking sofa. Ezra fills an old steel kettle and pops it on the stove, igniting the stubborn burner with a grunt before he turns and offers me a smile.
I'm just going to pop upstairs and get you some blankets. I really do insist you stay until morning. You must be exhausted. I'd hate to send you out into the darkness knowing...
He pauses, stopping himself. Look at the art on the top right. Oh my gosh. He's so pretty.
Just wait here. And please, make yourself comfortable.
I can think of nothing worse than even walking across the street right now, let alone across town, so I swallow a polite protest. Thank you, Ezra. He disappears up a narrow staircase, and my curiosity instantly gets the better of me. A solitary candle burns upon the countertop, colorful, magical little lights hanging from various picture frames and shelves, as well as an abundance of luxurious green plants. Yes, that one plant is very abundant. Sorry, I'm just poking fun. It's utterly enchanting, just like its owner, and obviously very well loved. There are generous amounts of personal belongings and keepsakes littering every possible nook, and I eye a tiny dish that's overflowing with brightly colored jewelry. Besides it sits a pile of crumpled parchment. Ooh. Sorry, my throat's a little sore today. Probably because I was talking so much yesterday. So I'll probably be drinking water a lot more often. Some of the pages are covered in elegant looping script, and others are filled with loving rendered portraits. I tentatively reach for one of the sketches at the top of the pile, but a loud creak startles me. I turn as alert as I've always been taught to be as my fingers edge towards my weapon. The hairs on the back of my neck stand to attention, and I immediately know that there's a creature nearby. That's when I see them. A pair of glowing, fierce golden eyes peeking up at me from a previously hidden hatch in the floorboards. And before I can even think about defending myself, I'm pinned to the wall by a firm, cold, and inherently not human arm. Bro, he went upstairs. Was it that hard to hear the stairs from under the floorboards? His lips curl into a snarl, affording me what feels like an incredibly pointed view of a set of long, sharp fangs. If I hadn't already clocked his deadly parlor, there'd be a second guessing what kind of creature I'm dealing with here. If I hadn't already clocked his deathly pallor, there'd be no second guessing what kind of creature I'm dealing with here. Sorry. Vampire. I know I'd already be quite dead if that was what he truly wanted, and I feel nothing from him other than overwhelming desire to protect something or someone. His aura is panicked but distinctly non-threatening, and I decide to relax against his hold. I cautiously raise my hands in surrender in the hopes that he'll stand down. We're not taught to harm creatures who have no intent to harm us. It isn't what we stand for, at least not the honorable hunters. Plus, vampires are the closest thing there is to humans in the Demonology Handbook, and I've met a few responsible ones in my time. Emphasis on a few. He retreats a little, just as I hope, just enough for me to gather my composure. It's fine. Yours is fine. Ezra is fine, I swear it. Those bright, disarming eyes burn into my own, a chill skittering over my skin. He looks like he's searching for something, his dark brows twitching as he studies my face, a thick scar cutting through the one on the right. Something that looks a lot like relief settles upon his face. I can't help but wonder what a vampire is doing sneaking into Ezra's home at this hour. I kinda need my head, though. I nod once, my hands still raised where he can see I mean him no harm. I'm not lying, he's safe. He's upstairs. I tip my chin towards towards the staircase in the hope that he'll use his head and seek Ezra out with those impressive scents of his. He takes a step back, but he still doesn't seem to trust me. I don't entirely blame him. I know how he feels. The sound of the kettle whistle as it comes to a boil distracts him, and he visibly relaxes. His gaze quickly darts to the staircase, then back to me. He steps back, the candlelight illuminating his angular face, all sharp lines and hairs as black as the night. He's otherworldly, obviously attractive in that tall, dark, and dead way, and his left arm is missing from the shoulder down. In its place is an advanced-looking prosthetic, flowing with what looks like incredibly advanced magic. He catches me looking at it, and quirks that scarred brow.
Sorry, it's not for sale.
Does it look like I need another arm? Ezra appears from upstairs, his eyes wide as he surveys the sight before him.
What are you doing here?
Ooh, you're in trouble. Iron fingers curl around Ezra's forearm, almost as though he's checking he's real. His prosthetic thrums brightly, as if it's responding to the touch. I sense that you felt uneasy. I came immediately. Are you okay? Ow. My poor thumb. Ezra smiles, covering Finn's hand with his own to gently pat it. A reassuring gesture. The intricate patterns etched into the dark iron pulses like a heartbeat. I was only briefly startled by the appearance of our new friend here. Right. Bro, you came running after a brief startle? Unless Ezra's lying, then that makes sense. Finn turns to me and dips his head in an apology.
I'm sorry about that less than savory introduction, Auntie. Things are a little on edge here lately.
Especially at night, I can see. I'd never have guessed. Ezra shakes his head, clearly amused by my sarcasm.
I'm fine. You really don't need to jump every stranger that passes this way.
You're in trouble. Ooh. Sorry, I'm immature. Leave me alone. The final reassurance seems to make the tension melt from Finn's broad shoulders. Sorry, Chris. You don't need to be alarmed. He's an ally, I swear it. Even if he doesn't give the best first impression. Finn offers me a genuine, almost soft smile, but he looks guilty. As he should, I suppose. I catch Ezra eyeing me warily, clearly sensing my apprehension. It isn't like it's every night you find yourself in a magic shop, staring at a witch and an apparently friendly vampire. Finn's whole demeanor changed the second he laid eyes on Ezra, and I feel any final traces of fear melting away as he steps forward and offers me his hand. The smile that crosses his lips is mischievous, and cold fingers grip my own in a firm handshake when I reach for it.
It's truly a pleasure to meet you.
Right, I'm sure it is. His pretty eyes brush over me like a like a caress, his pupils dilating, and I feel myself swaying, leaning toward him almost unconsciously. There's a soft whisper and muffled thoughts echoing in my mind, and I can't quite tell if they belong to him or me. It's soothing. And whatever he's doing grants me the foresight to see that he's certainly is harmless, that he bears no ill will towards me. Something tells me he now sees I'm harmless too.
Finnegan, stop that. It's not polite.
I mean, it helped, whatever it was. Finn closes his eyes briefly, breaking whatever connection he's created with me, and he offers me a killer smile. Literally. Shit, those fangs are really no joke. He must be pushing at least 5 centuries. I've heard of vampires enthralling their victims before a kill, but that felt more like a request to be understood. Like he wanted to show me he can be trusted. He exchanges an almost sheepish, knowing glance with Ezra, and I quickly feel my mind clearing itself. It's interesting to see a powerful creature wither under a witch's gaze. Sorry, I'm just checking. He looks at me and our eyes lock. I nod once, appreciating that he cared enough to put me at ease. Then he's grinning again, wickedly. I hope he didn't hear anything untoward in there. Anyway, Urza fusses with the kettle, pouring me a cup of fragrant tea and offering it to me on a pretty floral saucer. Here, this will help you get a good night's sleep. I'm sleeping here? I take the cup with a nod, both of them staring intently as I take a small sip. It's good, refreshing, and exactly what I need. So, Chris, are you looking forward to becoming part of this Urza elbows him in the ribs, throwing him a stern, warning glance, and Finn flinches a little too dramatically for a big, scary monster. Lovely town?
Do you have any idea what you got yourself into?
I'm a hunter. Do I have to know what's at the bottom of a pit to jump into it? No. I like a little adventure. I'm used to a little adventure. I truly hope I can help. Urza looks defeated, but strangely optimistic. I hope my words sound honest, because I really have little choice. I have to help. It's my job. Exactly. It doesn't matter what happens here, because I have to help anyways. My duty. Well, you certainly seem capable enough. Finn grimaces, exchanging a strange look with Urza, and I feel like they're not telling me something.
My clan and I are at your disposal, should you require any assistance.
Let's go. That's dope. That's dope. I love that. Clan? He nods, and I decide not to press him for details. Yet, I'd definitely like to know how many supposedly good vampires reside here in Lunaris. Lunaris. I guess we're going with Lunaris. I offer them both a smile and finish my tea. Ezra hurries and takes the empty cup from me and sets it upon the table. He places his hand upon Finn's arm. Finn, Chris needs to rest. Maybe you should head home. Finn nods, and Ezra follows him as he heads for the hatch. They embrace briefly, and Finn whispers something into Ezra's ear, the witch grinning brightly as he pulls away. Then Finn's warm, golden gaze locks with mine, and he smiles.
Be sure to take care. If you ever need anything, just scream, and I'll come running.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm just like, no. He winks, and my traitorous cheeks threaten to warm at the sight of it. He notices and laughs quietly, a deep, comforting rasp that I could most certainly find myself getting used to. It was nice to meet you, Finn. Finn gracefully lowers himself into the hatch, and Urza stares into the darkness until the door slams shut. He turns and retrieves a thin biscuit from a cupboard, offering them to me and waiting expectingly until I take a handful.
Please tell me how much you are. I'm sure you're capable of getting to the bottom of all this. Some are saying it's coming from a curse, but I see something else. Something bigger.
Well, if you could tell me more information, that would probably save my life. So, please. Well, it's always a terrible night for a curse. Hey! Excuse me. What is that reference? What does that... I forget what that reference is to. I think it's to a game. I think it's a reference to a game. It's a terrible night for a curse. That's so rude. Even though we've only just met, I feel like I can trust him. Within moments of my arrival, I could tell that something about this town is off, and I intend to get to the bottom of this mess. I have to live up to my apparently impressive reputation, right?
We don't know where.
Well, it hasn't halted too much because I'm here. By force. While that may be true, I still would like information. He quickly gathers himself, forcing a laugh to break the somber mood. Thank you for letting me stay, Ezra. I'll be out of your hair first thing. I stifle a yawn as Ezra turns to fuss with some blankets. I'm thoroughly looking forward to setting upon the sofa, however tiny it may be.
I'll see you tomorrow. If you need anything, just shout.
God, I'll have two people running at me? No thanks. He heads upstairs, and I eagerly remove my boots. The relief is instant when I settle against the cushion, pulling the soft blanket up to my chin. Despite the abundance of questions that currently flood my mind, I swiftly fall into a blissful, dreamless sleep. After I wake, and Ezra eagerly makes me more tea, I join him in the shop as I prepare to leave. I wait patiently while he deals with what sounds like a particularly difficult customer, doing my best to eavesdrop as I survey the books that line the walls. Most of them are in languages I don't understand. There's a strange energy in the air, and my sense tells me that Ezra's visitor is also one of magical origin.
You just drop by like this and expect me to right away. These things take time.
Tell him, Ezra.
That's always your excuse, Ezra. Do you not want me to work hard to save this town?
You don't have to. I'm here. You can leave. It's fine. Ezra sighs, apparently not willing to argue, or maybe he knows he'll lose. The tall figure he's bickering with turns to look at me, and I'm caught off guard by their piercing eyes, their stare cutting me to my core. They scowl, their lips pursed as they turn on a towering heel like I have a target on my forehead. Ezra looks like he's about to try and say something to stop them, but they wave dismissively over their shoulder. Why was that so difficult for me to read? Me? Why? What did I do? They come to stop before me and steal their gaze, staring me down and studying me from head to toe in a slow, pointed drag. I registered the familiar violet sash that adorns their torso, the very same as mine, and I exchange a quick glance with Ezra. He looks apologetic as he hurriedly emerges from behind the counter to join us. An enforcer, then. One who apparently doesn't feel that it's necessary to wear the standard uniform, or maybe they simply think they're too important. They have a commanding presence about them, and I can't help but wonder what rank they
So
hold.
you're my new subordinate? Interesting.
Subordinate? Damn it. I guess that answers the rank question. That's unfortunate. I don't want you as my superior. That's lame. Lame. Gus. Gus? August? So this is the infamous Major General Wilhelm I've been assigned to? They're a prolific figure countrywide, and they're known for being responsible for one of the best hunters that Eskria has to offer. Okay, well, maybe your first impression wasn't the best impression, so maybe you can change that, if you want. It will be a true honor to serve under them, despite their apparently icy disposition. Historically, enforcers aren't the friendliest bunch. They live to serve just as we do, but they hold a much higher authority and love to remind us about it. The way Ezra said their name carried a warning, and August scowls at him briefly, before turning their attention back to me. I notice how tired they look, their eyes heavy-lidded and their skin pale, and they even almost sway where they stand. Apparently, Ezra notices too, a flash of concern crossing his features as he quietly rushes to gather some ingredients from a locked cabinet. It looks like he's done this before, seen them like this before. It's a pleasure to meet you, Enforcer Wilhelm.
Yes, exactly. Your arrival has come as a good start, and more than a little paperwork.
Well, you're the one who requested me. Like, you were the one who wrote that letter. They gaze at Ezra, watching as he breaks off a few sprigs from a neatly wrapped bundle of herbs and pops them into a glass vial. Their foot taps impatiently on the floor, and an exasperated scoff falling from their lips as they turn to look at me once again, eyes rolling. So tell me, Hunter Green, are you ready to partake in one of the most baffling missions I've come across? Hell yeah! When you say it like that, it sounds exciting. Yeah! There's no hell yeah option, which is sad. Of course, General. I'm looking forward to working with you. They quirk a perfectly sculpted brow, their lips pursed in
I
contemplation.
don't suffer fools, and I certainly don't tolerate tardiness. If you're capable, we'll get along just fine.
Why are you talking about tardiness? I came here, and I didn't find the inn, if that's what you're talking about. But we met anyways, and you know what? Shut up. I don't care. Tardiness, smartiness. Smartiness. Smarties are really good. Their unrelenting gaze burns into my own, and I swallow thickly, offering them as genuine a smile as I can muster under such scrutiny. I think everything will work out. This won't be as effective, but it'll do the job for now. As August eagerly reaches for the vial clutched in Ezra's palm, the witch pulls away and fixes them with a worried gaze.
Stop doing this to yourself. You're pushing it too far and you know it. You're better than this.
Tell him, Ezra. Although, you don't make a name for yourself by sitting around doing nothing. Now we both know that's not true. Ezra surrenders the vial, the viscous violet liquid glowing dully as August takes it with a trembling hand. Ezra squeezes August's fingers before pulling away. He looks impossibly sad. There's always a choice. Remember that. August seems lost for words, but manages to maintain their carefully crafted annoyance. They reach for the door with yet another roll of the eyes, pausing briefly to catch my gaze.
See you tomorrow. Don't be late.
Well, I'm already here, so there should be no problem with that. No promises, though. Things have been a bit crazy. If August is of magical origin, does that mean that I'm also of magical origin? Because that's dope. We stand outside the shop, the sky bright, but the town somehow feels inherently gloomy. God, this town looks a lot worse in the daytime, which is bad, because people can't even go out at night.
If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to speak.
Yay. He won't get rid of me. He won't get rid of me if you say that. Oh, I wouldn't mind. His smile softens, and I feel incredibly grateful that I stumbled across him. I mean it, though. Anytime, and be careful. Poor thing, you care about everyone so much, and nobody takes your warnings. Thank you, Ezra. I bid him farewell, reluctantly leaving the warmth and safety of the shop behind to follow the rickety old street signs that point me towards the tavern, the place I'll be calling home for the foreseeable future. The tavern is bustling and full to the brim with red-faced patrons, the tables littered with empty tankards? It's only 9:30 in the morning, but clearly this town likes to drown their sorrows, even if the sun has barely risen. I push my way to the bar, and a scowling barmaid rolls her eyes at me, and I politely raise my hand to get her attention. What? I have a room here. Could I check in, please? She promptly rolls her eyes again and ducks beneath the bar, reappearing within a few seconds looking even more pissed off. Room isn't ready until 2. You'll have to get drinks or make yourself scarce. I muster a polite, albeit forced, smile, turning to find a table, but I find myself face to face with a striking scowling woman who appears to be blocking me entirely on purpose. Taking your place? Bro, you're still here. You can still work. It's not my fault they requested me. I just happen to be better than you. Sorry.
You don't look like you're special to me. Come to glory here. Rub it in my face.
Did you not hear my... I have a room here. Who are you? Do I know you? I'm really sorry. Am I supposed to know who you are? The woman looks offended, her jaw clenched, her hands firmly fixed to her hips. I glance down and notice the violet sash that's looping around her waist, and her simple armor. A hunter too, then.
Well, you've come to town to take my bloody job, so yes, I should expect you to know exactly who I am.
They're the ones who told me, hey, get over here. Like, they didn't be like, you will be replacing this person. And I didn't look into it. I didn't even know this place existed before I got here. Ah, shit.
The name's Piper Merriman, and I'll be keeping a damn good eye on you.
Thank you. I appreciate your care. You know, it's nice to have a lot of people who care about me and will come to my rescue. Thank you. The second you slip up, I'll be there. Got it? So I've really been called here to take Piper's place. She's a legend, having racked up more kills than someone of the most seasoned hunters, and all of the tender age of 24. I feel terrible. I wasn't told I'd be replacing anyone, and her being upset suddenly seems pretty justified. I'd be devastated. I'd be devastated if I was demoted too. We work so hard and put our lives on the line, all while the majority of the enforcers sit safely behind their desks, holding our fate in hands that aren't stained with blood while our fingers drip with it. Piper makes a vague gesture at the barmaid, and she swiftly hands a glass of warm amber liquid that she delicately cradles in her palm. She steps closer with narrowed eyes, surveying me in a way that almost reminds me of August. Pretty sure I won't be getting Employee of the Month anytime soon. We could always work together. I'm getting the feeling I'll need the help. And I'm sorry, truly. I can't imagine how frustrating this must be for you. She continues to look annoyed, and I can tell a more vulnerable emotion lingers beneath this seemingly rock-hard exterior. She swirls the rum around, watching the gentle slosh of it as it coats the sides of the glass.
That's what I got for being utterly shit at my job, isn't it?
Utterly shit? Bro, you have a reputation. That's far from being shit at a job. She scoffs a laugh, but the smile that curls at her ruby lips doesn't reach her eyes. Anyway, I'm sure I'll see you in the field. I'm not totally useless, apparently.
They just have me doing the awful jobs, the stuff that doesn't actually matter. What a waste of a perfectly amazing hunter.
Exactly. That's a beautiful mindset. That last part is a good mindset. Enforcers. Just a bunch of pencil pusher wankers. I've never said that word before. I stay silent, sensing that she might need someone to vent to. I've been there. Our job can be hard, and not just on our bodies. I keep yawning. This is not fun.
I can see I'm boring you. I'll just be over there continuing to deal with my sorrows until Willenheim summons me.
You're under Willenheim too? Oh man. So we are working together. You're not being replaced. There's such an asshole. An arsehole. I don't have that accent, so arsehole sounds weird when I say it. I huff a laugh, covering my mouth with a hand in a proper attempt to stifle the noise, and she seems briefly amused by my reaction. She offers me a thoughtful glance, then sighs slowly.
Take any shit from them, okay?
Whoa, you said that sentence really fast.
Come and see me if they bother you. I'm not afraid to stick my boot up their backside. Again.
Again? Bro, that's probably why you were, quote, replaced. Because it's probably that dude's fault. He probably got mad that you stood up for yourself and he demoted you. Come on now. And you're blaming me for that? Nah. I mean, it's not your fault either. Anyway, I'll see you around. She doesn't wait for me to respond, and with a flick of her long chestnut hair, she's gone. I spot her disappearing into the heavy crowd that's mulled about in the center of the tavern. A crowd that's apparently pretty pissed off about something. I decide to investigate. Might as well get stuck right in. What could possibly go wrong? I push my way into the crowd, and what I find both baffles and amuses me. A lichen, a hybrid lichen, sat smack bang in the middle of the tavern, arms folded across his chest. He has a smirk plastered across his scared lips, his wolf ears twitching dismissively as the townsfolk hoot and holler at him. The lichen doesn't seem to care and grabs his drinks, taking a deep swig. My first impression is that he seems perfectly harmless, even if his cockiness is almost a palpable aura. As I take a step closer, however, I can see the scars he bears. A seasoned scrapper, then, not shy in the least, and eager to stir up the ire of the authorities or other creatures, apparently. He spots me then, his scarlet eyes flashing, and then he's kicking out the chair in front of him and gesturing for me to sit down. Either he's bold or he's got something to prove. I find myself being watched by the eyes of every tavern goer. They're all watching to see if I'm going to oblige the object of their disdain, and the tavern falls deathly silent. As I take a seat, the crowd slowly begins to disperse. Though their eyes stay firmly fixed upon both myself and the lichen as they return to their respective seats.
They're lucky I kept my cool. Wouldn't you say, Hunter?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because if you didn't, we'd have a couple dead bodies. Yours would be among them. Or mine. I wouldn't want to piss you off. They are, incredibly so. They obviously haven't seen a lichen in their true form, have they? But then, you look an awful like a halfling. Damn! That sounds like a, what's it called? A rude gesture. Not a compliment. The opposite of a compliment. Why do I not know that word? I know it. Just can't figure it out. That sucks. I pointedly look at his human ears. He smirks, apparently highly amused.
I'm sure they've seen one or two around these parts. They're just stupid.
Sucks for them. I grin, finding myself shamelessly liking him already. I see. How about you tell me your name, and why you apparently have a death wish hanging around in a tavern full of humans who quite clearly aren't too fond of non-humans. He bristles, his tail wrapping around the leg of his chair as he places his now empty tankard upon the table. The noise draws a gasp from nearly every single patron, and I glance over at Piper, who sits in the corner, either oblivious or uncaring.
It's alcohol, and I don't have a death wish. Not today.
Yeah, I have to... Did you really have to clarify that? Like, I know I'm a hunter and all, but, like, you seem harmless enough. Enough is being the important part. Oh my god, his hands are riddled with scars. You poor thing. Is there no treatment in this world? Only today? He smiles, folding his arms back across his chest.
Don't concern yourself with me, Hunter. I stay far away from everyone. Most of them.
You say that, but you're the one who offered me the seat. So, forgive me if I don't believe you.
I do enjoy coming here to rile this lot up, though.
I see.
Unless they come looking for me, of course.
He glances over his shoulders, catching Piper's gaze. She flips him off, and he turns back around to face me, his shoulders shaking with his laughter.
I'm sure you'll grow to despise me in time, just like every other idiot in this hopeless town.
Hey, just because they're idiot doesn't mean you have to call them that. These idiots are holding a room for me, and I'd hate for my room to be trashed before I even get in it. He stands, and all the patrons stiffen. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. But Alcar, merely rolls his pretty eyes and flashes me a sharp grin. He looms over me, close enough that I can smell the earthy, distinctly petrichor scent of
My
him.
advice is worth anything to you, then trust me when I say to trust no one.
I love that line. It's so dumb. He stares me down. Even you? Then how the hell am I supposed to trust no one?
Goodbye, Hunter.
Bye. I watch him leave, feeling everyone's gaze still fixed upon me. I compose myself and offer them a smile, as genuine as I can muster after such an odd encounter. I glance at the clock. It's only 10:30. My room will be ready at 2. That's so many hours. 4? 3.5? Oh my gosh. I have some time to kill. Yeah, no shit. Ooh, a graveyard. Perfect place to kill time. Kill time? So funny. This town is small, very small, and it takes me less than an hour to walk it from end to end. On my travels, I find myself drawn to the cemetery, and the scent of blood is thick here. Okay, well, you're not supposed to kill in the cemetery. That's not... I didn't actually mean it. That would be because this is the site of the last murder. Oh. Oops. I come across a patch of scorched grass. The earth around it is trampled by the boots of enforcers and hunters alike. The remnants of a crumpled gravestone are littered around the perfect black outline of a body, and I take a deep breath, crouching down to skim my fingers along the edges. I close my eyes and try to picture it, what happened to them. But it's hard to truly see it, knowing how stark the darkness is here. It's a blur, mere memory, but I feel terror. They were so scared, utterly alone in their final moments. But something sticks out to me over all of that fear. I'm sorry, I love you. The words hit me hard, my chest aching, and I feel an intense longing. I feel love, the powerful and unconditional kind that snatches the air from your lungs. I take a deep breath and force myself to stand, trying to shake the feeling. I'll find out who killed you. I'm startled by the sudden sound of heavy footsteps, and my hand hovering over my weapon. I look around frantically, on guard and ready, and then a striking figure appears. He's clad in fine clothing, his long hair tied in a neat ponytail, the crown on his head adorned with delicate jewelry, and I should be unsettled by the pointed teeth and sharp claws, indicating that he's definitely not human, but he's smiling. Then the flicker of his spade-tipped tail tells me all that I need to know. I'm staring at a glamoured demon, though I'm finding it hard to be alarmed by his presence, which seems to be a theme here in Lunaris. His eyes are warm chestnut brown. They sparkle in the dampened sunlight as he gazes at me in wonder.
I've been looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by that. Most people are in this town, which is very surprising. You've got a sun's tattoo on your forehead. You have? You've been expecting me? I watch as his cheeks darken, his gaze drooping to the grass.
People talk in others, and they've done a lot of talking about you. I hope I didn't scare you.
Quite the opposite, which is scary in of itself, so I don't know if that counts as you scaring me. Well, he's certainly not like any other demon I've encountered. The not trying to kill me part helps. You didn't. It's okay.
Sure. I've gotten used to startling people.
Listen, the fact that you didn't startle me scares me. I promise you that I've seen scarier. He laughs, his tail flickering. Oh, I'm certain you have. His aura is calm, and not a little skittish, and I decide he's probably more scared of me than I am of him. He's still hard to read, though, and that's frustrating, but not necessarily alarming. What's your name? The demon exhales sharply, apparently relieved that I'm making conversation rather than drawing my weapon.
It's Omen.
Damn, that's a interesting name for a demon. You've got to be kidding me. What kind of omen? Oh man, I don't want to interrogate him on his name because names apparent. I don't know if it's in this fantasy world, but most fantasy world demons' names are very important to them, so I'll just introduce myself. A demon called Omen. Well, that's reassuring. Clearly his sire has a good sense of humor. My bad. I'm Chris. So, how was your first day in Lunaris been? Well, I arrived at night, and that sums it up. I huff a quiet laugh, yet again perplexed by the wonderfully weird inhabitants of this town. He's certainly the most polite demon I've ever met. I guess it's been fine. I'm just a little overwhelmed. It's a strange town, isn't it? Omen laughs, the sound musical and almost infectious, causing my own smile to widen.
Being polite. It's more than strange. It's a mess. A mess I and many others hope you can fix.
Well, count me in, because I hope I can fix it too. I grimace, my gaze drifting back down to the place where the last murder victim lay. I sigh and muster as much confidence as I possibly can. I can do this. I can solve these murders. So, absolutely no pressure then. Omen shrugs playfully.
Welcome to Lunaris.
Thank you! The first person to actually say that! My god! It took like the entire day and a night for someone to finally say that to me. Thank you. I forgot that you're a demon. Still thank you. But now I'm confused. I made it to the Enforcer headquarters with time to spare after August's thinly veiled threat about tardiness yesterday. I had a terrible night's sleep on scratchy sheets, and I couldn't possibly feel less ready to face my less than friendly superior. I raise my fist to knock on the door, but the muffled conversation that I hear coming from inside has me hesitating. It sounds heated, and I glance at the clock on the wall behind me to check the time. I have 1 minute before I'm sure General Wilhelm will admonish me for being late. So, I take a deep breath and I knock. The voices stop suddenly, and I hear a clack of heels, and then... Yes? Oh, it's you. Yeah, you told me to be on time, so here I am. Why are you surprised? Were you gonna be late? Oh, that would have been great. That's right. They quickly glance at the clock.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know it's terribly cozy out there, but please come in.
Thank you. I nod politely and quickly step into the enforcer's office. It's beautifully decorated with neatly arranged bookcases lining the walls that are laden with a collection of trinkets and tomes that possibly rivals Ezra's. There's a huge desk in the middle that overflows with reports and letters, and a half-empty ink pot, an elegant sapphire quill poised and ready. Then, as if I'm experiencing a rather vivid case of déjà vu, Piper appears before me, looking decadently less impressed than she did in the tavern yesterday. What's up? I'm looking at August. I sense a serious tension in the air, and I'm sure of how I should proceed. I clearly interrupted something here, and I'd hate to make it worse or anger the General Wilhelm in any way. It's my first day, after all. August sighs loudly, rolling their eyes and waving their hand at us dismissively.
You have permission to talk, you know. But do hurry up, we have work to do.
Well, I wasn't asking for permission. I was asking if you wanted her to leave, or I don't know. Pepper scoffs, folding her arms across her chest defensively.
It's hard to tell when you have a stick so firmly notched up your ass.
You see? She hardly says ours.
I remember my first day with you. I felt like I couldn't sneeze without you wanting to murder me.
It's funny. August stares her down, lip twitching. Yes, well, you might have been correct. Anyway, they run their hand along the edge of their desk, inspecting their perfectly dust-free fingertips as Piper huffs in the general
I know
direction.
you have very important business to attend to, but I'm not finished with you yet, Willenheim.
Oh, I've been saying it wrong this entire time. It's Willenheim. Why do you put an extra syllable in there? Gosh, so pretentious. Is that so?
Given you your mission, you complained about it loudly. So, pray turn, Major. What else could there possibly be?
Piper flinches, and I see her demeanor shift. Her admirable determination withering and dying as that word rolls off August's tongue. A harsh reminder of her demotion, and one that clearly stings. I wonder if I'll get a chance to ask her about it, to finally know exactly what she did that warranted her being made such an example of.
Nice, August. Really nice.
You could quite literally cut the tension in here with a dull-bladed dagger. It's not awkward at all. We, have a meeting, General? August sighs, glancing at Piper almost guiltily, but the sorry expression fades the second she meets their gaze. Yes, we do. Is that everything for today, Piper? I can't say her last name. Is it I wasn't asking. Ugh. They take a deep breath, pinching the bridge of their nose between forefinger and thumb. You're dismissed for today, Mirror Man. They stare each other down, and I wonder how the hell they ever managed to become one of the most successful elimination teams in all of Escria. I've heard countless words and wonderful stories of their partnership, Piper's unparalleled strength and August's unmatched intelligence. But here, now, all I see is dispirited hunter and an impossibly tired enforcer. Harry is on his way. I suggest you depart quickly.
Shit.
Blanches at that? Okay. And I can almost see her admitting defeat. Her shoulders relax and the furrow in her brow fades.
I'll go and look for possibly a small chimera, but probably a big fucking cat.
Somebody has to do it. I sure as hell don't want to.
One day you'll have to stop punishing me, you know.
Piper grabs a set of expensive-looking daggers from the chair in front of the desk, strapping them to her back with haste. She pauses in front of me, and those dark eyes soften as she meets my gaze.
See you around, Hunter. Enjoy your important meeting, and remember what I said. Foot. Ass.
She chances another glance at August, and they suddenly become very interested in studying their perfectly manicured nails. With a wink, she then fully spins to face August, squaring up to them playfully. The enforcer towers above her, still uncaring, still unbothered. Twat. And with that, she turns on her heel and slams the door so hard it shakes in its frame. You're gonna knock the books over. August walks around the back of their desk, practically falling into the well-used leather chair. I scan the piles upon piles of paperwork that litter the surface, taking in the countless reports and letters, scribbled diagrams, and gruesome drawings. I get the impression August is in over their head, the disorder of all of this information making my fingers twitch. They watch me carefully, stifling a yawn with a trembling hand. I know, trust me, I know. As much as I hate to admit it, we've got nothing. As of right now, I suspect everyone in this town, and as should you. Though I may not really know them yet, I sense that this kind of vulnerability I'm seeing is rare. August doesn't strike me as the type to admit defeat so easily, and something more serious than usual stress of the job seems to be lingering under the surface. After what I witnessed back in Urza's shop, I can't help but wonder what they were like before all of this. The way the young witch looked at them. It was a pity. Urza pitied August. August huffs a quiet laugh and relaxes in their chair, and for the first time since we met, they seem to let their guard down.
I don't know why I decided to hire the right person for this job above all others, but I trust him implicitly. So, whatever plan he has for you, you'd better make it right.
I wish I knew that plan, because if I did, we probably would solve this a lot faster. Unfortunately, I don't even know who Harry is, so... They pause, staring me down with those icy blue eyes. Now, are you ready to begin? Begin what? Always, General! No. We're going to say, yes, let's start. Always, General, the heart. You know... I'm not actually going to play through it, but I really feel emboldened, that piercing... I feel... emboldened and I can't even read it right. emboldened as the piercing gaze bores into me, something twisting deep in my gut. I lean forward in my chair and make sure they see me. Really see me. I can't wait to start with our partner. I can't wait to see where our partnership takes us, General Willenheim. August presses their fingers to their lips, appraising me. Okay. I'm not gonna explore this too far. There it is. Okay, I'm not gonna explore that too far, because I don't really want to go down that fire. Yes, let's start. I feel impatient and restless. I'm practically crawling out of my skin as I sit in this chair. Surely I should be out there already, talking and gathering evidence? What's the first step? August flicks through a document covered in an elegant looping script, barely glancing up at me when they next speak. You meet Harry. Harry tells us both what to do, and we do it. They chuck the papers aside, watching as they slide across. Whoa, excuse me. Oh my god. They chuck the papers aside, watching as they slide across the desk to join the rest of the jumbled reports. I stare them down, perplexed. They really have nothing for me? No brief before I meet the most important man in Escria? That's it? August shrugs and nods. That's it? I suppose Harry will be looking to take full advantage of your unbiased eyes. Your fresh, unbiased eyes. Everyone here is too close to this. A stranger is exactly what we need right now.
Look, I don't know how you used to doing things, but throw one of them out the window. Everything changes. Here. Now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that makes sense. I mean, hell, I just met the friendliest demon, ever. This demon's more friendly than Piper. And I met them in a cemetery. I hear footsteps in the hallway, and August quickly rises to their feet. They straighten their clothing and tie their sash a little tighter. I follow their lead and move to stand by their side, my heart hammering triple time in my chest as those footsteps draw nearer. There's a distinct clang of metal, of armor and heavy boots. Then the door swings open and an imposing figure enters the room. God damn, imposing is an understatement. I feel generally belittled in his presence. His gaze flickers between myself and August, his expression stern and almost emotionless. I've heard many tales about Harold Eddington III, and as he stands before me, I feel a certain sense of pride that he would choose to summon me to deal with such a vital case. He's adorned in the standard enforcer colors, a black and gold, but his outfit far more regal than any of the other higher-ranking officials I've seen. A wide smile breaks out across his sacred lips, and he pulls August in a tight embrace, a deep, comforting chuckle rumbling in his chest.
It's been a while. Too long, I say.
He pulls away, still firmly holding onto August's shoulders. You look exhausted. Have you not been sleeping? August offers him a wiry smile as Harry drops his hands. I'm trying to sleep. Does that count? Harry throws them a look, something stern but edged with a certain fondness, one that a father might give to their child.
Look after yourself, Augustus.
A Augustus. So, is it August? August nods once, still smiling as Henry turns to stand before me.
Hunter, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I can finally put a face to all those impressive reports I've read.
Impressive reports? What did I do? He offers me his hand, and I eagerly take it. It's a pleasure to meet you too, Lieutenant General Addington, sir. Oh my God. He smiles warmly, keeping his grip on my hand, his other holding my forearm.
Harry, it's fine. None of that formal nonsense. If we're going to be working together for the foreseeable future, we might as well get familiar, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah? Of course, sir, Harry. He laughs, and I feel incredibly relaxed in his presence. Now, let's get to business, shall we? August hands him a standard issue file, sealed with wax bearing the Scarlet Enforcer emblem. They watch me carefully as Harry breaks the seal, a heavy sigh falling from his lips, as he quickly scans the report. He closes his eyes, handing the papers back to August before he turns his back to both of us. A silent moment passes, and Harry rounds his shoulders, he clicking his neck before he faces us.
You know, I've worked with the Enforcers for more than 30 years, and I've never felt quite so useless. We've lost some of our best, our brightest, kindest.
I'm just looking at a sword. I mean, I can't really see his sword very well, but it's really pretty. It reminds me of like a dragon sword. I mean, I don't actually know what a dragon sword looks like, but if I knew what a dragon sword looked like, I would imagine it like that. Harry pauses, the waver in his voice evident as he composes himself.
I am truly at a loss, and I'm finding it hard to remove my emotions from the equation when it's my own people being needlessly slaughtered.
That's why I'm here. I am here to not care about the people and care about the situation. Apparently, that's what August said. August averts their gaze, stealing a quick glance at me, seemingly sussing my reaction, but also giving Harry a moment of privacy.
Nothing can bring them back, but we can bring those responsible to justice.
Agreed. Suddenly it hits me. The victims were hunters, weren't they?
Yes, they were hunters, just like you.
Bro, like, we've got perfect bait here. By that, I mean Piper. She wants to do something important. Let her be bait. Harry huffs a quiet laugh, clearing his throat.
I know you're putting a great deal of responsibility on your shoulders, but I have never-ending faith that you're the one who can help end this madness. Do you have any questions?
I don't know. Asked about the victims. Are there any patterns? Patterns? Other than the timing of the murder, are there any other patterns I should be aware of? Harry's mouth twists into a grimace, and he shakes his head. I hope you do not think ill of me. I'd rather not tell you at this point. How the hell am I supposed to solve this, unsolvable case if you're not going to give me information that I ask for? What's the point? If you're not going to give me information, then don't make me solve it. He and August share a look, and August seems perplexed by this statement. Harry places his hand upon August's shoulder, a reassuring touch, a smile. Then he's looking back at me. Please, just trust me, both of you. I want you to go out there and see things with your own eyes, utilize your abilities. Then we can discuss what we've already discovered. This is a complex case with many intricacies, but I think it's important that you don't let our opinions cloud your judgment. As terrifying and as baffling as this may seem, I see where Harry is coming from. I don't want to be influenced by an investigation that's so obviously failing. You want me to start from scratch? Oh my god, we're gonna be here for a while. Ask about the victims. I was so hoping I could ask multiple questions. How many victims do we have so far? August looks at Harry for guidance, and Harry nods his permission.
We anticipate more. The victim has shown up every 7 days for the past month.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, August. My brain lagged.
Yes, with the most recent being 6 days ago, which is when I called for you. Enough is enough.
Okay, so there's probably a fifth one.
We're due a body, if our calculations are correct.
Exactly. And if the killings are that exact, or if the appearances of the body is that exact, then the killings most likely didn't happen on the 7th day. The person would have either saved the body for killing, or killed and saved the body for display, so to speak. Harry clears his throat, twists the gold bang on his finger. Gold band on his finger? What
I'd
band?
like you to concentrate on the latest victim for now. Male, 46 years of age, a general. He was one of our best. We owe him this.
The dude from the cemetery? I take a deep breath before I ask my next question, feeling immensely guilty before it ever falls from my lips. Were all of them burned? I saw ash in the charred ground. Each body has been burned very badly, yes, to the point where we cannot determine what wounds they sustained beforehand. Damn, that's stupid smart. I didn't think of that. That sucks. Not even with magic? He shakes his head, exchanging a look at August when I can't quite place. Not even with magic. So, where would you like me to start? I almost expect them to tell me to figure it out myself, but Harry surprises me. Well, the most obvious of place would be the Iabek. The what?
A curious pair are the Woodridge twins. They've taken up residence in the old church in the middle of town. I'm sure you've seen it.
No. I saw it alright. I mean, yes. Big, imposing, and very obviously dilapidated. Yes, I did notice it. It was quite hard to miss, but I assume it was empty with it being in such a state of disrepair. We can only dream that it becomes vacant, unfortunately. August clenches their fist, the faintest flicker of magic shimmering in their palm. Okay, bro, chill.
They're a plague upon this town, spouting their drivel, preaching to the dumb and ignorant. They're idiots.
Okay, then why do you suspect idiots? Augustus. August takes a deep breath, their magic dissipating.
Right. Sorry. And I'm not fool, if you couldn't already tell.
Really? Harry and I share a glance, and he smiles warmly, winking at me.
Oh, I think we got the picture.
Ha 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 ha.
Now, as I said, I suggest you start with them. Just see what you make of them. You might need to play along with the mom. She tends to favor playing games. Anything to baffle you.
Sounds like fun. Have they already been questioned? Are they dangerous? Are they human? Harry shrugs, and Augustus's annoyance at him becoming so unbothered is obvious.
Yes, they're human, and yes, they've been questioned. Hunter Merriman saw to that, but she and the woman have a rather tumultuous relationship.
Tumultuous? What? I don't know what that word Tumultuous. That's a weird word. I'm searching it up, hold on. Tumultuous. Tumultuous, making a loud, confused noise, uproars. Excited, confused, or disorderly. What? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Loud, excited, and emotional, or involving a lot of violence, confusion, or disorder. Okay, I've got the picture a bit. Their alibi is solid. They have a guard, a human who has connections to Clan Kazamari. She has no reason to suspect the Ayabik, other than just doing her job. I'd still be interested to hear what you think of her, though.
So, in theory, they're harmless, but they do have the people's ear for some bizarre reason.
Really? The people actually listen to these guys? That sucks.
They prey on fear, and the town is infected with that right now. Be cautious of them. They certainly won't take kindly to you.
To me? Why?
Oh, I think the General can handle them just fine. Have some faith, August.
My god, I'm a general? Let's go. August waves their hand dismissively, wandering over to a filing cabinet that's nestled in the far corner while smuttering something under their breath. Warm hand touches my arm, so not his metal hand. Got it. We trust you, Chris.
Now, once you've spoken to them, I suggest just going where your gut tells you. There are plenty of other Lunarians for you to get to know, so just take today to really find your feet.
Lunarians. So it's Lunarius?
I must meet with August and some of the other generals now, but please report back to us in the morning. Unless you find any damning evidence, of course, in which case, report back immediately.
Sir, yes, sir. I nod, glancing over at my superior, who has taken it upon themselves to dive headfirst into yet another pile of paperwork. Trust no one, right?
Not a bloody soul. Suspect everyone. Question everything.
I close the door behind me, leaving August and Harry with their discussion. I feel a bit overwhelmed, but ready. Ready to finally start my investigation, and to hopefully end all of this chaos. I take a deep breath and straighten my clothes, feeling ruffled from both that initial heated encounter and the brief but semi-formal conversation with the Lieutenant General. As I turn to leave, I spot Piper leaning against the wall. She looks stoic, her gaze fixed on the floor. She perks up when she spots me approaching. What do you want? Oi, Chris. I can call you that, right? Can I? She makes a quite frustrated noise and closes her eyes. She shakes her head, exhaling sharply before she meets my gaze. Listen, I'm sorry you had to witness that exchange. I couldn't bring myself to leave without apologizing for my behavior, both today and in the tavern the other day.
It's been a rough few weeks, and I often let my passion overrule any rational thoughts that I promise I am capable of having. It's unbecoming of me.
I'm taken aback by the vulnerability of her words. This isn't the Piper I thought I'd have to become accustomed to. Piper, she raises her hand to hold my words. Calloused fingers curled into a fist.
Just let me apologize, alright? Then we can pretend I never acted like a complete arsehole, and you can go and do your job.
What about your job? What happened with that cat? So... She sticks out her hand, her daggers clanking noisily where they rest in the holster at her back.
The name's Piper Merriman.
Piper Merriman. She rolls her eyes, taking a deep breath before her next sentence.
Major Piper Merriman.
She throws me a wicked grin, and I can't help but laugh. I don't really... Well, I kinda want to say the pleasure is mine. But You're allowed to be upset? Yeah. I genuinely think that she's allowed to be upset. Yeah, but we're meeting for the first time. I eagerly take her hand in mine and shake it firmly, my touch lingering a little longer than necessary as I cling to her warmth. It's a pleasure, Hunter Merriman. I gather I'll be seeing you around, or I hope I will. A smirk holds the corner of her mouth, our fingers brushing as they slowly part, and there's something curious shining in her striking gaze. I shrug, nonchalant. I can think of far worse things than bumping into you. She narrows her eyes, shoving me playfully. The most subtle flash of color creeps across her freckled cheeks. It's funny. Nicely, you say? She purses her lips, and her sapphire gaze sweeping over me like a caress.
Well, I think we're going to get soon.
Thank you. I try my best. It's quite an enigma. I can feel my skin prickling under her heavy gaze. Certainly not an unwelcome feeling. She snorts a laugh, the sound wholly inelegant, but charming nonetheless. What's so funny? She narrows her gaze, shifting from one foot to the other, as if she has excessive energy to dispel. Oh, nothing. Just didn't expect you to be quite so interesting, I suppose. I feign offense, and her answering laugh is magical. I'll just have to prove myself then, won't I? That you will. Piper glances at the clock before turning back to me with a roll of her eyes.
I better get going. I have an inevitably worthy submission to get on with.
Yep. Get that cat.
People in this town are adept at mistaking common house cats for ghastly creatures. Must be something in the water.
Well, are you drinking the same water as they are? I should go too. Yes, of course. Now, off you go. Save Linares and all that. I'll see you around. She turns on her heel and heads for the exit, pulling her chestnut hair up into a messy bun as she goes. I gather my wrists, checking my supplies and weapons, adjusting my armor. It's time to begin. Let's go, I'm excited. It's a strangely beautiful day in Linares, regardless of the biting cold. The sky is clear, and the cobbled streets are abuzz with the smiling faces of townsfolk, strolling to the local market with empty baskets and full pockets. There's certainly a different vibe to the last time I walked the street. No panic, no haste. As I draw nearer to the center of town, I see that imposing white building. Scarlet flags sway in the wind of the roof, but as I look closer, I can see that they're tattered and dirtied. The twins may very well be human, but the way my stomach drops and twists as I approach the weathered wooden doors tells me I might be shocked by what I'll find inside. It's not as pretty as I'd hoped it would be. I push open the heavy doors, and the sight that I'm met with snatches the breath from my lungs. This place is huge. Its domed ceiling was seemingly once decorated with an intricate painting, but the layers have cracked and peeled over time, and nothing more than the remnants of what looks like a starry night sky cling to it. The furniture is cracked with a thick layer of dust, and the pews are in disarray and covered with strange etchings that look like they've been carved into the cheap wood with a blunt nail. There's a lot to take in, but I'm not here to scour this ruin for evidence. I'm here to talk to its inhabitants. The dread that's now firmly settled in the pit of my stomach churns violently, but it's something odd, something that lingers. I anticipate that I might find a lot more than I'm bargaining for if I truly desire, but I need to focus. I need to find the Woodridge twins. As if by magic, 2 pairs of slightly bright blue eyes emerge from the shadows near the destroyed pulpit. Well, hello, Hunter. We were expecting you. To say that they're unusual would be an understatement, and they're not at all what I expected. Question them immediately. No, we're gonna start slow. I offer her a smile, friendly smile, for however forced it may be. Word travels fast in Lunaris. I am Hunter Green. She narrows her eyes at me, suspicious for the briefest of moments, before she's smiling unnervingly again. Despite her best effort at apparently trying to be cute, it's still terrified. I'm Aurora, and this is my dear brother, Amoris. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Hunter Green. I nod politely, not quite sure which of them I should be focusing my attention on. Amoris doesn't appear to enjoy talking, or maybe he's simply not permitted to. His overbearing sister is clearly the leader of the 2. We're gonna address Aurora. I study her steeled gaze, and she seems completely at ease. Aurora, can you tell me what you do here? Amoris looks relieved that I didn't focus my attention on him. His once stiff shoulders sagging. Aurora clears her throat, a delicate hand covering her mouth as she does so. Well, what exactly would you like to know? Do you know about the word? No, we're gonna ask about the Iabik. I clear my throat, trying not to be distracted by the unnatural stillness. Can you explain to me what you do and why? They share a look, and Amoris nods once under his sister's icy cold gaze. Our purpose is simple. We spread the word of the night, of those that are oppressed and murdered in cold blood. And who exactly are the oppressed? She giggles, the sound musical, but edging on maniacal. The creatures, of course. I look at Amoris, and he drops his gaze, cold sweeping across his pale cheeks. Is my answer not satisfying, Hunter Green? Surely you know that the institution that you serve brings harm to innocents, and that the creatures that you kill are nothing more than confused and lost, merely looking for salvation. I pause, carefully contemplating my next response. My adult life has consisted of seeing bloodthirsty creatures trying to mindlessly murder innocent people, and in turn trying to kill me as I protect them. I see no desire for salvation in that. I appreciate that there are creatures who don't intend to harm anyone, even some that are kinder than most humans. But... I smile again and take a deep breath. But I cannot bring myself to understand how you can so blindly support the slaughter of your own people. Amoris frowns deeply, and I swear I see him shaking his head at me. But it's just subtle enough for his sister not to notice. Because humans are inferior and pathetic. Oh, well that answers a lot of questions. Can we get on with the interview now? We infest and corrupt the earth by dedicating our time and resources to ridding it of the only thing that give our wretched species any hope. She inhales sharply, calming herself and brushing her hand over the front of her skirt. So, Hunter Green, to answer your questions, we are here to protect the creatures, just as you are here to protect them, to destroy them. What do you know about the murderers? I'm sure you are very aware of the recent murders in this area. Can you tell me anything that may be of use to my investigation? Aurora steals her gaze, unblinking, her fingers clasped tightly in front of her. We saw nothing, and we have an alibi. Amoris said that. Oh, my bad. I look at Amoris, startled that he actually spoke. His voice is strangely soft and comforting. Regardless, his words sound practiced and rehearsed. He looks nervous, like he'd rather be anywhere else but here, and his eyes kept darting to the door behind me. Nothing at all? You're stationed right beside the graveyard where the last Hunter body was discovered. You're telling me you didn't hear a thing? He was brutally murdered, set alight, and burned to ash, and yet he didn't scream or call for help? Aurora's lips curl at the corner, her eyes turning dark. My brother speaks the truth, Hunter Green. Question us all you like, but we've been through this with your insufferable predecessors. Just like Harry said, they apparently have an ironclad alibi, but my suspicion does not waver. I nod once, noticing Amora's gaze burning into me, and I thought I caught, and though I cannot gauge how he's feeling, my gut tells me he has something to say. Something he wouldn't dare to with his sister by his side. Like he's scared. I'm starting to feel like Harry sent me here just to be unnerved. Just to unnerve me. Surely he knew this is what I'd be faced with. I still have little to nothing to work with here, and as the twins continue to stare me down, I think about his parting words. Suspect everyone, question everything. You truly have nothing else to say regarding this situation. Aurora stands firm, her lips curled into that wolfish grin once more. Not a thing. It was ever so wonderful to make your acquaintance, though. Truly. Do stop by again. Our doors are open to everyone. We are more than happy to accommodate you, should your agency need to question us for a third time. Amoris gives me a look again, and I wonder if it would be possible to somehow get him alone. I have a feeling I'd get a lot more out of him than I have from her. Thank you, Amoris. On my way out, I see a small, neatly wrapped package sitting on the doorstep. I bend down to check the label, and written on it is an elegant script are the words Zes Hua, Hewa, and Amoris's name paired with a small heart. I may not know what it means, but I know a demonic language when I see one. Just as I suspected, there must be a lot more to Amoris Woodridge than meets the eye. If that's demonic, we might want to ask, what's-his-face, Omen. We might want to ask Omen what it says, or if he sent the package. I walk toward the center of town, getting for a while, getting to know the buildings and watching the people that pass me by. Lunaris turns into a quiet, nervous town when the sun begins to set, and I wonder if it's only recently lost its warmth. I consider heading for the graveyard, something tugging at me and telling me that there's more for me to find, but... Oh, what's off, Am? Alcar suddenly appears from behind the crooked house, sending 2 children that were playing in the streets scattering. Quite the opposite. I've become a victim of it. He pauses, huffing a sharp breath through his nose. Bro, chill. This certainly isn't the first time I've been caught off guard by an angry lichen, but it's safe to say that I don't need to fear my life here. Maybe. He does look pretty pissed. It's not what you think, Alcar. I was just questioning them. He scoffs, rolling his eyes. His hands are shaking, but he balls them into fists when he catches me looking. Is that so? And why should I believe you? I don't even know you. No, you don't, which is why you should consider giving me the benefit of the doubt. I'm just trying to do my job. Do you suggest I just ignore the very obvious cult in the middle of town? His wolf ears flicker back and forth, and he unclenches his fists. You were just questioning them? I nod. Yes. I was hardly agreeing with them in their hatred for, well, me. He rolls his eyes at me, standing his ground. Something has me curious, and I can't resist asking. They want to protect you from the likes of me, so why do you despise them so much?
Because they couldn't care less about those of us that don't enjoy killing humans mindlessly. Because we're not real creatures that we scale in trouble and befriend humans or each other.
Oh. So it's not the fact that they like creatures, it's the fact that they hate humans, and creatures are the only people who can kill humans in their stead. Because if they killed humans, they'd be murderers, but if creatures do it, they just get targeted. And their hands are cleaned while their goal is accomplished. Got it. So if you dare to act in even remotely human, you're the enemy too? He smirks, brows raised.
Now
That's the dumbest shit. I swear to God, man. Why hasn't anyone burned the church already? It's not like it's used. It's all covered in dust. Alcar is apparently defensive to a fault, but I sense that under the surface he's probably just scared. Maybe even a little lonely? It must be hard to be feared like that when you've done nothing wrong. At least I don't think he has. He is kind of a bastard. Do you have friends? Or are you following me? I'm trying to think of how this conversation would lead. I think were you following me would probably be the next best question. Alucard, were you following me? He bristles, frowning deeply. Yeah, I know. Don't flatter yourself. I can just smell the twins a mile away.
I just like to go out in class, especially then. And especially strange characters then proceed to hang out with those creeps.
Creeps is an understatement, bro. Well, cross my heart and hope to die my visit was innocent.
I would be careful making that statement there. Someone might take the lead.
Good. Maybe then I can find the murderer. As I said, bait. But Piper, not me. I laugh, but he's probably right. So, you just happen to conveniently be hiding in an alley to jump out on me then? Something like that, yeah. A moment passes, and Alucard restlessly shifts from one foot to the other. He doesn't seem incredibly satisfied with my answer about questioning the twins, but I can't really do much more to convince him, nor do I care to right now. So where are you heading now? Do you live nearby? He narrows his eyes at me, clearly contemplating if he wants to divulge such information. Why? I'd like to get to know you. Can I just try to get to know you a little better? And why would you want to do that? I offer him a smile and I shake my head, incredulous that he so obviously suspects the worst from everyone. Because I think there's more to you than meets the eye. Am I not allowed to be curious? He narrows his vivid scarlet eyes, meeting my gaze and holding it. I suppose you are. He continues to stare me down, taking a tentative step closer.
If I did let you get to know me a little better, what then?
I could probably eliminate one suspect off of this long suspect list. I contemplated his question carefully, talking him in and surveying him from head to toe. Well, for starters, I'd buy you some shoes. What? Oh, okay, well I can't. He smirks, his scarred lip curling at the corner. He looks handsome when he smiles, a little softer. How thoughtful of you. But you wouldn't be the first to try. No? He shakes his head, wriggling his bare toes against the cobblestone. I run faster without them. And who exactly are you running from?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, then we'd have someone to blame for the murderers. Might take you up on that. We share a quiet laugh, something passing between us. It's warm, and I feel like I'm fully getting to experience the real Alucard for the first time. Or, at least, I hope. Funny.
I'm a funny guy.
Right. He glances up at the sky, muttering something under his breath before he sets his gaze upon me once again.
Dark, and there's a cold drink with my name on it, the wolf. As much as I'd love to stay standing in the middle of the street talking to Lois's new favorite person, I'd better dash.
Very dark already? Bro, how am I supposed to get to the cemetery and get back safely? He turns as if he's about to leave, but he pauses, pointing at the Ayabek. The building looms over the town, and it appears even more unsettling now I know who resides there.
Stay away from them. You might think you're safe because they're human, but words can do just as much harm as knives and claws in this town.
I get the horrible feeling that he's right, that maybe I should have pushed harder with them. I should be asking him about the murderers too, but Harry told me to trust my instincts, and right now, something is pulling me towards the graveyard, not towards the scrappy, sarcastic wolf. I'll be careful. See to it that you do, Hunter. And the town might fucking implode if it has to deal with much more. He makes a dismissive noise, scowling at me, and he's unable to mask his obvious worry for my well-being. Not that I care. Anyway, I'll see you around. That's contradictory, bro. Haha, you contradicted yourself. Get wrecked. He offers me a half-assed wave paired with a decisive, what? dedicantly mischievous grin, and then Alucard slinks back into the alley from where he came. To the cemetery! Damn it, it's dark. I'm gonna die. The graveyard looks so different at night. Beautiful, even. Fog twists and curls around my ankles as I walk, glimmering specks of vivid blue light sparkling in its haze. It is gorgeous. It's so pretty. Thankfully, the darkness is a little more forgiving this evening, and something seems to be guiding me along and leading me right to the place where the murder happened. I'm hoping that I might be able to get a clearer idea of what transpired here that night now that I know who he was, or what he was. I followed the path and see a dark figure crouching before a neat line of gravestones. There is no danger here, not that I can feel, but I approach with caution anyway. As I draw nearer, I recognize him. It's Finn. Really? Oh, what's up, man? I'm no fool, and I know he senses me here, but he doesn't flinch, keeping his gaze fixed on the dark forest that surrounds us. No warm welcome this time? I would say something, but now that I'm giving the option of giving him space, I feel like I should give space in this time. But I'm not going to, because I wouldn't. Because I can't. Social cues are difficult, man. I clear my throat, quirking my brow as he stands and faces me, effortlessly graceful. What's up? There are no walls for you to pin me against out here. How will you cope? His golden eyes shine in the darkness, and he offers me a sheepish glance.
We're getting brutally murdered. My instincts tend to get the better of me. But I apologize again. I'll do anything you require for you to feel comfortable around me.
It was a joke. You weren't supposed to take it seriously, Finn. No mind reading? He shakes his head quickly.
No mind reading, unless you ask, of course. Or unless you have any particularly loud thoughts. Then I'm afraid there's not much I can do to help it.
Damn. A smirk holds the corner of his mouth, and he offers me his iron hand, switching to his flesh one when I throw him a cautious look.
Both are just as cold as the other, unfortunately.
Well, that's not what I'm concerned about. It's the fact that, you touched what's-his-face? Ezra, and it glowed, and he touched it and it glowed, so I'm concerned of what it's capable of. Truce? I shrug heartily and shiver as his cold skin meets my warm, his handshake firm. Truce. I really need to have a look around. I sensed something near where the body was found the night after I arrived. He pauses, looking as though he's trying to decide if he should say what he's thinking.
There's definitely a strange energy here. Stranger than usual, anyway. But I can help you if you wish. I mean, if you wanted an immortal.
I'll take any help I can get. How exactly can you help me? He huffs a quiet laugh and folds his arms across his chest.
Excellent sense of smell, and the ability to see things your human eyes cannot, will be of use.
Ah, yes. I feign disinterest and a playful roll of my eyes as he waits for my response. I suppose I shouldn't dismiss any help, but how do I know that you're not the thing committing these horrible crimes? I've been told to trust no one more times than I can count. So tell me, Finn, why should I trust you? He offers me a wiry smile, but sadness lingers in his gaze. Damn, good point. Freedom? He nods again, taking another deep, unnecessary breath.
I've been trying to become a better man since the day I died. My sire was a cruel man, a tyrant. Being around that for centuries does something.
Always does. Where's your sire now? He swallows thickly, rubbing the back of his neck. It's almost a nervous gesture, and the first time I've seen him do something that looked remotely human or graceless. Dead. Killed by your lieutenant general. I owe Harry my life. He freed me from Levi's shackles. Levi's shackles? He pauses, head tilted towards the night sky, and he closes his eyes. A smile crosses his lips. Something wicked.
I've done terrible things in my time, and I intend to pay penance for those for the rest of my days. Which, if you hadn't heard, is forever.
There are so many things I long to ask him. He's seen so much, done so much, and I assume lost so much. Well, he lost his arm, so you can put that on the list.
So, to answer your question, I value doing the right thing above all else, even if sometimes I tend to stumble a little. Metaphorically, of course.
I offer him a wiry smile, which, watching him, watch me. This is like so out of it. I'd appreciate the help. I think I'm good. Why would I pass up such a good helper? I'd appreciate the help. I think I need all the help I can get, so thank you, Finn. I take a deep breath, exhaling sharply. So where the hell do we begin? He quirks a dark brow at me, fangs shining when he speaks. You're the expert, shouldn't you be telling me? I brush past him, returning his smile as I head to the site of the murder. Don't push your luck, vampire. He laughs, a quiet chuckle, and dutifully follows me. We stop at the charred patch of grass, and Finn bends to pick up one of the bloodied shards of the shattered gravestone. He brings it to his nose, glancing at me, before he gives it a tentative sniff. He crinkles his nose, apparently repulsed by whatever scent he's picked up. He hands me the stone, wiping his hands off on his trousers.
I suggest you keep that. That's not something I've experienced before, and I've smelled a lot of different things in my time. It seems off. If it's from a creature, it's certainly not one I've come across in those 600 years.
Damn. That's unfortunate. I throw him in a customary glance before I turned my attention back to what he's handed me. I put it in my pocket for safekeeping. Confused about why such a thing was left uncollected. You can't pick up anything familiar at all? Which must mean it isn't the victim's blood? He shakes his head. Definitely not his. Well, here goes nothing. I do exactly as I did last time and close my eyes, concentrating and pouring all of my energy into seeking out that lingering memory. It's just as I remember, painful, loud, and I almost can't bear it as a deep, scared voice echoes in my mind. Leave while you still can. I feel a force pushing at me, but it's weak and nothing I can't handle. So I fight it and hold my ground. It's not hostile, but panicked. It's trying to tell me to go, to get out, to run. That just makes me want to stay all the more. I hear Finn saying my name, but it's quiet, almost as if I'm underwater. I want to help. Tell me how. Who did this to you? No help, just death. You can't stop them. I tried. I failed. The voice quickly disappears, and all I'm left with are more questions. I open my eyes and find Finn crouched before me, his eyes wide and concern etched on his face. Chris, what the fuck was that? You didn't hear that? Hear what? I wasn't trying to listen. I didn't want to risk my abilities interfering with yours. I exhale sharply, shaking my head. It was the hunter. That's never happened before. What do you mean? I mean, I feel things. I hear things, sometimes too, but I've never directly spoken to a spirit like that before. At least that's what I think it was. I should go. We both moved to stand, and my legs feeling a little shaky beneath me. Hey, take it easy. I nod, regretting it immediately, as a wave of dizziness overtakes me. Whoa there. Are you sure you're good to go alone? Yeah. Yes, I'll be fine. I just need...
Go and seek out Ezra. He can help you. Trust me. He's good with weird shit like this.
I'll make it. I'll get there. I promise. I contemplate heading back to August, but I suspect they wouldn't appreciate me disturbing them at this hour with little more than a ghost story. You're right. I'll head for a shop immediately. Finn nods, still watching me carefully. Be careful. Head straight there, okay? I will. Thank you, Finn. See you around. He turns and heads for the forest, a final glance at me over his shoulders before he disappears. Now I need to find Ezra, and fast. I hurry to the shop, still unsteady on my feet. My mind is reeling. What the hell is going on in this town? I round the corner and see that the lantern outside the shop is dark. I didn't realize how late it had gotten, and I can only hope that he's home. I knock on the door and hear a loud crash, followed by quick footsteps. The door creaks open slowly, and a face that definitely isn't Ezra's appears. Fucking Omen. God damn it. You can't help me with my problem right now. I can barely walk. I'm taken aback by the sight of Omen, his eyes wide as he stares at me. Are you supposed to be in there, Omen? He blinks, and a moment later he smiles, full of sheepish remorse. That answers my question, though it's difficult to even work up any annoyance if he's actually trespassing. Is he influencing me with his powers, or is his human face just that cute? Yes, I maybe kind of live here right now? Okay, oh really? He smiles shyly, his ears twitching as he looks away for a moment. Is Ezra here? He shakes his head, opening the door a little more.
He said he was. I don't know when he'll be back.
Damn it! His eyes widen a little more as if he's remembering something. Sorry, would you like to come in? I contemplate rushing off to continue my search for Ezra, but I would be stupid to miss a chance to find out a little more about this curious demon. I'd love to, but just for a moment. There's a neat little pile of cushions arranged on the rug in the middle of the shop, and a handful of empty wrappers that I can only assume were once filled with treats. Omen rushes to pick them up and scrunches them into a ball, as if he's trying to get rid of the evidence. His tail sways mindlessly as he sticks them in a bin hidden behind the counter. He seems oddly at home here, so I assume he's telling the truth about staying here often. You look exhausted. Have you been busy today? No, but I did one job that was really draining. I laugh quietly, rubbing my temple, my head continuing to thrum. Very busy, yes. He nods, picking up a slightly glowing He nods, picking up a lightly glowing blue crystal that sits on one of the displays. He fiddles with it nervously. Can I ask you a few questions? I suppose, yes. I might not be able to answer much, though. Why? He grimaces.
Humans don't like that very much.
Wow, you don't say. Because you're a demon? His mouth twists into something that looks like it's trying and very much failing to be a smile. Something like that. I suppose that's fair. It's not every day you see a demon like him walking down the street, even these days. He's well glamoured, but he's still quite obviously inhuman. In a town like this, especially one so small, I imagine he's quite an unnerving presence. And that isn't even taking into consideration what the murderers and unanswered mysteries might have done to the townsfolk's nerves. Why was that so difficult for me to read? Let's ask him about himself, because I'm curious. I don't know much about you. Where are you from? And how long have you been here in Lunarius? His eyes widen, his pupils dilating, and I see the slightest hint of crimson flickering in chestnut brown.
Time passes differently, so it's time for sure. You'd have to ask him.
I don't miss the way he so tactfully ignored my question about his origins, but I decide not to press him if he's giving me something. Yet, how did you meet Ezra? He lights up at the question.
He was the first person I saw, and he took me without question right into my shelter.
Ezra is very kind, isn't he? He nods enthusiastically. He's quite wonderful. Everyone thinks so. Well? He fidgets, dropping his gaze to his hands, fingers toying with the blue crystal again. The general, August, they don't like him very much, and that makes Ezra sad. Do you know why? He shakes his head, biting his lip. No, I don't want to ask, but Finn says they've known each other for a very long time.
Ezra has been very kind to me. I don't want to cry. What about things that I have to say or to hear?
I nod slowly. It's hard to argue with that, I suppose. Ask about the murderers. Do you know much about the recent murders? Omen passively looks out the window, a sad look crossing his face.
I know that the humans are upset, and that the ones who were killed were hunters. Ezra is tired all the time, and Finn visits him less. Alcar is distant.
He always is. He sighs, a knot forming between his brows.
Everything is so different lately. I don't like it.
His eyes light up as he turns to look at me.
Now you're here. A solution, a fresh start.
Okay, don't get your hopes too high. I can only do so much. My kind is the one who's been trying to solve this, and my kind is the ones that have been dying. So don't get your hopes too high. Eventually, Omen shrugs. The wind changes, perhaps towards shore this time. And he smiles at me, full of optimism and faith. His trust is almost sweet, but I can't in good conscience lie to him. I hope so too, Omen, but it might take a little while. Right, yes, I understand that. He fidgets where he stands, his eyes flickering in the curtain that hides Ezra's living area. Can I show you something? Of course you can. One moment. He dashes through the curtain that separates the front of the shop with the back, reappearing within seconds clutching a weathered notebook. Here, I keep notes on things I find interesting, mostly humans, but also Finn, Alucard, Ezra. He trails off, looking wistful.
If you need to know stuff about certain people, I might have something here.
Oh damn, that's insane. Is there any... I'm also curious. You said you write about things that you find interesting.
That's right. Anything that intrigues me, I guess. Sometimes things I don't understand, so I can ask someone later. Human things, mostly.
I smile, enamored. He's so wonderfully curious. It's a nice break from the doom and gloom that the others I've spoken to have been emanating. Is there anything about me in there? He stutters, holding the book a little tighter. Oh, maybe. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he shyly drops his gaze. I knew it. I'm so smart. My smile grows exponentially, and Omen smiles in return. The color of his cheeks is almost matching his shirt. What did you write about me? Why are you asking that? No, you don't ask that. He's giving you the book anyways. You'll read it later. His tail sways back and forth enthusiastically, curling around his leg. I'm not trying to. As long as it's nice, I don't mind. I offer him a wink. Then I don't mind. Write about me as much as you like. I sigh dramatically, watching him watch me. I have a feeling there'll be more notes in his book this evening. Well, I guess I'll have to trust you, if you're not going to show me. Never say never. I feel a sudden twang of pain in my temples. The sensation is unpleasant, and it burns. Chris, are you okay? Omen rushes to my side, the notebook forgotten upon the counter. He reaches for me, but is hesitant. I can feel an impossible warmth radiating from his palm, but he withdraws his hands before he touches me. I'm fine. I really need to find Ezra. Do you have any idea where he could be?
I don't know for sure, but he usually goes to the market or tavern. Maybe even the catacombs.
Oh, God damn it, those are too many places to look through. I'm not gonna make it. The catacombs? He nods, leaning closer.
Yes, that's where vampires are.
He presses his fingers to his lips, a human gesture that looks out of place, like he's been practicing it.
I would try the tavern first, though. He did mention he needed a drink. He needs to drink a lot of wine after a busy day.
Thank you so much, Omen. I'd better hurry. I bid him a quick farewell and head back into the darkness. God damn it, I'm not gonna make it. I push my way into the tavern, scanning every table for the shock of white hair, and much to my relief, I see a friendly face I'm looking for. He notices me already, his hand raised as he beckons me over to where he sits alone in a cozy spot in the corner. His smile is as bright and as wide as I remember, and I take a seat opposite him.
It's good to see you. I hope that town isn't scared you off again.
Ezra, my savior! I'm dying! I raise an customary eyebrow at him, earning a laugh. Well, even if I was scared off, I can't really go anywhere, can I? Ezra smiles softly, but he seems restless. I suppose not, no.
What's that? Being bound to do whatever you're told. Way of doing it.
Fulfilling. Oh, there we go. I quite like it. I actually don't mind it. I think I'm just used to it now. It's really all I've ever known. Ezra purses his lips, nodding slowly, but he doesn't seem convinced. I see. So you don't mind traveling? The never staying at one place for too long? I shake my head. I don't. I accept that this is my life I accepted that this was my life long ago. I don't have much choice. It's what we prepared for, what we trained for. Isolation comes with the job. You can't get too attached because you'll inevitably be moved on. The thought of living such a life seems to upset him, and he looks almost wistful.
I can't imagine it. I left home at 18 and found myself here. Been lucky to settle and have a life. I don't think I could ever make it over.
He sighs loudly, toying with the stem of his wine glass.
I seem to be surrounded by people with resilience letting me dream.
I don't know you very well, but I get the impression that you're resilient too. He smiles, a little coy, his cheeks turning red. Maybe. Finn says that often, but as does my mother. I guess it's hard to see it in yourself sometimes. The barmaid comes over and rolls her eyes, hand on her hip as she addresses me rather crudely. Drink? I don't know. I don't drink. So there's wine, whiskey, or ale. I mean, I think ale, maybe? Well, ale? Is that something strong? I don't want anything strong. I don't want to do water. Why go to the bar if you're just going to drink water? Ale? I smile up at her, but it's not well received. Pint of your finest ale, please. She turns and wanders off with yet another roll of her eyes, and Ezra poorly stifles a laugh. Don't take it personally. That's Edna. She's notoriously, short. I grimace, and as she returns with my pint of ale, I nod politely. Thank you, Edna. Edna grunts, turning on her heel and throwing me a dismissive ways over her shoulder. Case in point. The ale is dark in color and tastes rich and hoppy as I take a generous sip, licking the front from my lips. Are you okay? You seem tense. I was actually looking for you. I need to tell you something, but I need you to promise you won't think I'm crazy. Well, I talked to the dead general in the cemetery, and it made my head hurt. I take a deep breath and edge closer, checking no one else is listening. I visited the graveyard and left you after I left your shop yesterday to see the crime scene. I tried to get a feel for what happened there that night. Ezra leans in, his eyes wide. And? I didn't really get much other than an overwhelming sense of loss, which is, well, quite normal, considering the circumstances. People tend to feel such emotions when they're dying. But tonight, I went back. Finn was there too. I felt something different. Different? How, exactly? I half a laugh, knowing how ridiculous this sounds. I heard him, the hunter, the one who died. He spoke to me. Ezra Gaze darts around the tavern, and he sits back in his chair, running his hands through his hair. He wipes the look of shock off his face quickly, putting himself to rights. His voice is low when he speaks, barely a whisper. You sure it was him? I nod. Positive. He told me to leave, and that there's no hope in helping. Ezra leans forward again, pushing his wine glass aside, placing his hand upon the table. His fingers are vividly twitching. Well, I don't mind taking his hand. What does this mean? He can't really decipher what a dead man says. He's not all-powerful. He's a witch, but, let's see. What to do? I'll take his hand since it's twitching. I mirror his movements and place my hand upon the table beside his, shamelessly needing comfort and contact. Ezra doesn't hesitate to take it in his own, his skin warm and soft as he squeezes it tightly. It's going to be okay. We'll figure this out together. I exhale sharply, feeling like I've been holding my breath ever since I left that graveyard. Thank you, Ezra. I don't know what I'd do without you. I've only known you for a few days.
It's okay. I'm used to taking care of people. It's my thing, I suppose. Besides, you're delightful. So I think it's true.
Aw, so sweet. He softens his expression and starts drawing gentle, soothing circles on the back of my hand with his thumb. His cheeks darken slightly, and everything about him is impossibly enchanting. I'm glad you're okay, Chris. I'm here for you, always. I'm more grateful than you'll ever know for that. Another squeeze of my hand, and we part reluctantly. So what now? He curls his fingers around the stem of his glass and sighs deeply.
I don't even know to unpack this, but I do know that I need to rest. How's your head feeling?
Like a train. I sigh, pushing my ale aside. Still hurting. Urza fishes around in the pouch that's attached to his belt, retrieving a small vial full of what looks like strange herb or flower. Here, crush this in some boiled water, and it should help with the headache. It's just some feverfew and butterbur. Completely natural, I promise. I take the vial and tuck it safely into my pocket. You mean with the bloodied tombstone piece? Do you have a pharmacy in there? He laughs softly, shaking his head. What kind of witch would I be if I didn't carry around a cure for a migraine? It's very true. I should head back to the shop. I left Omen unattended with the kitchen cupboard unlocked. He'll eat me out of the house and home. Oh, yeah, I stopped by there. He did. I did check there before I came. He'd gotten into the suites. Shit. And that's definitely my cue to leave.
Experience today will still have happened tomorrow. I know what you want to survive, no matter how scary August is, your report can lead into tomorrow.
I smile up at him as he stands to leave. I promise I'm drained. I need my bed more than ever right now. Plus, I need to decide how to put all of this into words. This has changed everything for me, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid it did. He sighs deeply, resting a hand upon my shoulder.
Mindful of who you share this information with, huh? Their eyes and yours everywhere.
Good night, Chris. Good night, Ezra. I stare out of the window, and I spot the first snowflakes falling from a star-dusted sky. Winter has arrived in Linares. My headache is persistent as I lay in bed, but nothing can possibly stop me from falling asleep after the day I've had. I finish the tea that I made with the flowers Ezra gave me, hoping that it begins to take effect. I close my eyes, but just before I drift off, a distant whisper. My name was James. You couldn't have I guess you couldn't tell me, because I didn't ask for it this time. I opened my eyes to the incessant sound of fists banging on my door. My head is still pounding, a fuzzy haze settling over me as I drag myself from the relative comfort of my bed and attempt to ignore the ache that has made itself at home behind my eyeballs. I blink once, twice, and shit. It's dark? Surely I slept for more than a few hours. Oh shit! Jump out the window. Fuck. Hunter Green, if you do not open this door in the next 5 seconds, you will have to pay for a new one. I grimace, thinking that might actually be the preferred option right now. Can I pay for the window instead? I can just jump out the window, right? Did I really sleep for a whole day? Well, at least my death will be in the hands of something other than a ghastly creature, suppose. Small victories. I look out of the window. It's definitely past sundown. Linares is covered in snow, a persistent blanket of perfect white glistening in the moonlight. No way! Oh shit, I'm dead. I really am gonna die. Are these my last moments of life? Because that's how it feels. I can't believe he waited an entire day to get me. Honestly, that's... he should care more about his report. You better hope you're dead in a ditch somewhere. There are more people in the street than I've seen the whole time I've been in Linares, and they're hanging brightly colored bunting from between the crooked little houses. I'm not here, leave me alone. The thought of opening the door and seeing August ready to tear my head off is less than appealing, especially when I probably look like I've been dragged through a fey nest and left for dead. I think that would be better than this. I gather my wits and shout as clearly as I can muster, "I'll be down in 5 minutes!" I hear a series of incoherent mumbles from the other side of the door, followed by a clack of heels as they walk away without much of a fight. I get the feeling I'm in a lot of trouble. Listen, spirit talking takes a lot out of me, and I did it twice, technically speaking. 3 if you count the first day. Wonderful. Hey! The Wolf is full to the brim with red-faced patrons, all wearing far fancier outfits than the usual uninteresting garments they tend to sport. I also see August scowling in the corner, but I almost don't recognize them out of their uniform. They spot me, and I can almost feel my blood freezing at the ice-cold gaze fixed upon me.
I thought you were missing. I almost had a search party set out for you.
I was dead in bed. I'm sorry. You look good. I am good. He does look really good. I catch myself staring at August as August impatiently taps their foot, clearly wanting for an apology. They look different, more relaxed, and far more approachable. It certainly doesn't help my growing infatuation with them. You look different. Amazing, actually. The foot stills, a dark brow raising in what I'm hoping is interest. Please don't be too mad.
I do.
I smile, biting my lip to prevent it from growing as wide as I'd like it to. Yes, you do. You have impeccable taste, General. Thank you, Chris. It's hard to find a decent tailor in these parts, They halt their words, narrowing their gaze, apparently suddenly suspicious of my curiosity. Damn it didn't work.
Flattery gets you nowhere. Certainly not on the day you've shown yourself up so hard.
I'm sorry. I nearly died yesterday. I could barely make it to the tavern. I'm really sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. They raised their hand, silencing me. I don't want to hear it. If you had attended this morning's meeting, you would know that there's quite an important event happening this evening. You mean right now? We don't have much time thanks to your tardiness, so please bear with me while I explain.
We are in a real crisis, yes. The Lunar Festival is on its way. Harry thinks that if we postpone the council of the town,
They need stability more than ever right now, and the last thing we need is more panic. Leonard Festival? A festival? While there are horrible murders being committed? Trust me, I know. It's abhorrent, to be quite honest. It's a yearly tradition that's been around for centuries, one that Harry holds dear. He's been distant lately.
we need our leader back. But if this helps, I'm willing to play along. But I expect them to do the same. No questions asked.
Sir, yes, sir. I hardly agree, and I have more than enough on my mind that I need to figure out, but the look August is giving me tells me I have little to no choice. I pondered the question for a little longer than necessary for dramatic effect, feeling them growing impatient. Absolutely anything you need. They relax at that, their pretty eyes bright as they stare me down. Good.
Between you and the person, I think it's a complete and utter waste of time and resources. Especially in the middle of such a crisis.
Bro, aren't we due a body too? Like, what is this? They sigh heavily, shrugging as if they've already admitted defeat. Alas, it's important to Harry that we stick with said traditions and show the people of Lunaris that everything is exactly as it should be. So just forget about the horrible murders and my sworn duty to protect and serve the people for a night, then? Yes, you've got it. And I don't have a choice. Do you ever? Point taken. A rather loud cheer rings out from the doorway, and August grimaces, running a hand over their face.
Takes place in the market. Please represent us well. All eyes will be on you. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to introduce yourself to the town.
It's about time. Everyone knows me already. Wait, no, opposite. Why do I have to introduce myself? Everyone knows me already. Then they look up and down, apparently unsatisfied with my presentation. you'll want to change into something a little more interesting, and I suggest you find someone to escort you. It would look a little odd having you wander around by yourself. We have to show solidarity. I could do. Oh man, I don't like doing these choices because then I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking August or Alucard or Finn. Finn's kind of an afterthought though. I'll go Alucard. That sounds like fun. People hate him anyways, so that'll be interesting. I have someone who can show me around. Very well, just remember that all eyes are on you. Yeah, they will be. And don't forget to change. Yes, I'll do it right now. I nod, smiling politely. Yes, General. Have a good evening, Hunter. After a quick outfit change, I step out of the warmth of the wolf and into the snow-covered night. Snow. I love snow. Lunaris looks strangely beautiful, and Oh, shit. Alucard! What? Where did you come from? He looks at me, then to the alley beside the tavern, then back to me. Where do you think I came from? The other alleyway on the other side of the tavern. I roll my eyes, but I can't help but enjoy his complete lack of charm. Well, you appeared just in time. I need someone to show me around the festival. He makes a dismissive noise, his tail drooping. Because I need an escort! He has a point. Don't be a coward. Spend time with me, yeah! I sigh, exasperated by his stubbornness. Then why don't you just see it as a way to spend time with me? I know I'd enjoy your company. He huffs, but he's quite clearly shocked, if not a little flattered by my statement, no matter how hard he tries to hide it.
I guess it wouldn't be so terrible. You're probably the most interesting person in the show until right now.
Well, I'm new, so that makes sense. I'm charmed. I laugh, and his sly smile turns into something bigger until he clears his throat, trying to shake it off. Let's go then. I need a drink. I guess I'm buying? I'm taken aback by the way the market comes alive at night, having only passed it when getting myself acquainted with the town. It's thrilling to see it so full and vibrant. It's densely packed, and I hazard a guess that every Luminarian has ventured out despite the snow. I can feel Alucard tensing beside me, his tail curled and his wolf ears pressed flat against his head. I've got your back. I can look after myself, you know. He huffs, exasperated, taking a deep breath to calm himself.
Scared, just aware. I've not had many good experiences with the humans lately, especially since the murders began happening. They used to be friendly towards me. I could move around in peace.
I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. And now? A heavy sigh, his shoulders sagging.
Just lash out. I get it. They're scared, confused. But I would never hurt them.
He averts his gaze, and I feel a wave of guilt. He's not mine. Alucard?
Never hurt them if I could help it.
I understand. He's a Lycan, and he has no control over what he does when he transforms. I cannot fathom the guilt he must feel if he truly has ever hurt someone by mistake. I feel a certain sense of guilt myself. I've definitely jumped to conclusions about his kind before, but getting to know him makes me see that they can be just as human as I am. You can't help what you do when you turn. He looks down at his bare feet, a sad, lopsided smile crossing his face. Yeah, well, I could sure as shit try harder.
Anyway, weren't you supposed to be showing me a good time?
Weren't you supposed to be showing me around? I laugh, raising my brow at the off-of-the-cuff statement. Oh, Alucard, I had no idea that you felt that way. I'm charmed, really. He sputters, lips curled into a snarl.
I meant ass.
He tugs his hood a little tighter, keeping a low profile as we weave our way into the busier areas of the market. He hangs onto the back of my coat, staying close, just as I asked him. I expected more stares, more people curious about why I'm with him,